Hey cousins, welcome back to another video, and in this video we have Carlos and Romeca. So Carlos decided to respond to this video right here, well this picture right here, and he said, stalking is crazy to me. I didn't know her number or address. And on August the 20th, if y'all know what she did before she recorded me, y'all be like, for real? But more of the story, I went up to her job and told her boss on her. Because she posts to be on the clock. I love her, but she used to be on my ASS. Don't get me wrong, nobody is innocent in this situation. However, you told her boss on her to try to get her fired. Come on now. Now you're saying you love her, but you want her without a job and not being able to take care of your son. He then says, y'all goofy making cartoons and AI videos. This ain't for effing entertainment. Y'all keep that same energy. Baby, and this is when the nerve just was like, what? What the? He said, y'all ain't let me breathe with nothing. I hate all you bees. Carlos. You could have stopped all of this shit, Carlos. So he said this about his son. He said his birthday is on the 28th in a couple of days. He don't need no donations if y'all let his father be in his life. I will pay for everything. He then posted a video. Well, he posted some pictures. I don't know why I keep saying a video, y'all, but he posted some pictures of him and his baby boy. And he said, not the baby, y'all, but I always say baby boy when it's the child. So Carlos Jr., I did everything for you. I ain't even brag about it or want credit. He said, your mom knows. And keep in mind, y'all, I went backwards, like I went straight down the page, but this was his first post. He was like, why y'all keep lying on this app, Jaleesa? And that's her cousin. That's Romeca's cousin. He tagged her. All right, y'all. So I went down the page and I seen that she did respond back. And this is what she had to say. She said, who's lying, Los? So Los said,
a lot of y'all trying to get clicks and views.
Jaleesa said, and you think we not? You bogus and wrong for all this. You could have prevented it. Simple. So Los says,
I ain't have her number, address, or nothing. She has to call someone else to get in contact with me because you know what she be on with me.
So then I scrolled down a little bit more and I'm like, they being too nice to him. Like, let this have it. Like, come on, y'all being a little bit too soft with this man. So, okay, Jaleesa was like, where was the love or sympathy then? She said, gee, she is gone. I don't give a what you say. What about little Los? What about my auntie? She said, y'all still living. She not. How could you explain this to him? Okay, that's all I want to know. How he's going to be able to explain it to his son. Because I would love to hear that. Okay, so then she says, you can't. What the F? But you could have did something to stop it, but you didn't. She then said, we know the truth, so stop trying to justify why my cousin is gone. On Kurt, you bogus. Okay, so Carlos proceeds to say, you're just good for talking on the internet, crazy, eh? He then said, you about 20 false narratives, and was you there? All right, y'all. So then Carlos was like, you're only saying that because you listen to the wrong stories. Look, you just stop it with all them fake narratives. So then Jaleesa was like, then tell me facts, Ninja, the F. So after that, he really didn't say nothing else toward Jaleesa. But he did post a comment underneath all of that stuff. I'm guessing he posted it earlier, but y'all know how it kind of goes down to the bottom. So he said, rest in heaven, Romeca. Love you for life. You know the love I have for you, no matter what. I don't know, y'all. I think Carlos is going to start talking a little bit more. The more he sees, he's going to start talking. Just like he came on here and told what happened on August the, 20th. So 2 weeks later, that happened to Romeca. One of them is going to tell the internet what happened. And I believe it's going to be him. So on another note, y'all, this was Romeca's dress that she wore in the casket. This is so beautiful. But I guess people were attacking the guy who created her dress, stating that he was trying to use her, funeral to advertise his work or whatever the case may be. So this is what he had to say.
You guys about the whole aftermath of the whole Romeca Meeks tragedy. And my experience of it all, let me tell y'all something. This past summer, I went viral for making a few prom dresses or whatnot. And it's never my goal to really depend on social media for the publicity because, as we all are aware, social media can be very toxic, okay? So when it comes to me advertising my work and doing work for the community, I like to do everything the natural way, the original way. I like to pass out cards. I like to pass out postcards. And, I was never really this social media person. So I got a few negative inboxes on yesterday. Well, rather this morning in response to yesterday. And one of the inboxes, it says, how dare you use the event of a homegoing celebration to advertise your work? So at first I thought, yes, it was wrong, but then again, I thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not wrong because I did something that was good for a good cause. You know, the family wasn't struggling. The family has money. You know, they had money to make Romeca a gown. They had money to go into the store and buy it off the rack. However, it was the principle. A young black man in the city of Chicago that is 30 years of age. How many more men can you line up next to me that's my age, my ethnicity, making the type of moves that I'm doing so that I stay successful and so that I become a movement by myself and for the young black men in my community? So I responded and I said, thank you for acknowledging your concerns. However, I do not feel like I'm wrong for using a homegoing celebration to advertise my work, because it's no different than people that are doing casket wraps. It's no different than people that are decorating for repasts, people that are advertising their mortuary work in general. It's no different. So why am I being harassed about making a dress for a victim that was gunned down in the city of Chicago senselessly? So yeah, I just wanted to really address that is not my intentions. Because if it was my intentions, let me tell y'all something. I would have went viral a long time ago. How many people that got killed in Chicago? I would have reached out to so many different families, but it's just that Romeca Meeks story, it planted a seed inside of my heart that I couldn't let go of. I reached out to her mom, and I reached out till I couldn't reach out anymore. And finally her mom responded on Sunday. I had to have the dress to be done by Tuesday per Leak and Son's funeral home. They had to get her ready and everything, so I had to have the dress. I had that dress done by Monday. It took me 24 hours to finish that gown. 10 yards of fabric, 13 in total. I hand stoned the gown using these stones. Hand stoned them. So it's not the homegoing that I'm using to advertise my work. It's the skill behind it. Because anybody will tell you that's a seamstress. To complete a gown of that magnitude takes at least 3 or 4 days. Mind you, I still work a full-time job. Okay, I still come home and I still pay my bills. Sewing does not pay my bills. Alterations does not pay my bills. I have a legit full-time job. So coming home, doing that on the side, ain't having to worry about my personal life. Romeca Meeks was in my heart. Her family was in my heart. And I took care of that. I took that burden off their hands. And when I tell you, their whole response is, the day I dropped the gown off, Tuesday, I met Miss Tina over at her house, who was Romeca's mom. And she gave me the biggest hug and broke down and started crying. Then her brother walked up to me. He said, man, I know you did this out of the kindness of your heart, right? But this stuff costs. And I want to give you something. I cannot tell you guys the amount of money that he put inside of my hand for privacy purposes. I don't need y'all to count my pockets. But he handed me some well-deserved cash. And so did Miss Tina. I was in line at the department store with Miss Tina because she had to get Romeca's undergarments and stuff. And she said, she dug in her purse. She got to count them dollars. And she handed me some money. And she said, hey, baby, take this. Get some lunch. Do whatever you want with it. I said, no, Mama, I can't take that. She said, no, take this. You made my daughter a whole gown. Got her looking like a Barbie doll. Take this. And I don't want to hear nothing else. And that put me in a mental position, whereas I didn't have a relationship with my own mom. My own mom is not here. Everybody needs a mother. And I pray to God for that motherly figure to walk back into my life. And I feel like Miss Tina, who is Romeca's mom, will be the person to take care of that void in my personal life. She will be that person. She will be that person. I'm going to invest in her. I'm going to invest in her mental health. I'm going to make sure that she is okay. Absolutely. So, yeah, as far as my feelings and how I'm feeling after the whole, I felt like this pain, I know this pain all too well because I lost my oldest sister and my oldest brother in 2012, 2 days apart from each other, April 14th and April 12th, April 14th. And I know the pain all too well, watching my mom go through funeral arrangements, watching her weep, watching her hurt, having to go up to the morgue, identify her own children, it was just so terrifying. So being there to comfort the family yesterday, I feel like I served a great purpose because, again, I know the pain all too well. I don't know how it is to lose a child because I don't have any kids myself. But to lose someone so dearest and closest to you, I know what that felt like. So I felt like I was family yesterday. They treated me as if I was family. I was up there. I stood by Romeca's coffin the whole viewing. I made sure no one stepped on her gown. There were a few arguments that broke out in the back of me. I was running around the church, hopping upstairs, making sure that nobody fight, that nobody argue. I treated yesterday like as if they were my own relatives. And my feelings were so tied up yesterday. Like at times I really wanted to break down and cry because Romeca was 31. She's my age, you know? And to see her son be so strong, although he do know what's going on, he was so strong. My feelings, I really wanted to break down yesterday, but I had to be strong, guys. I did. I served a greater purpose other than just making a dress for Romeca. But when I tell y'all, baby, Leak and Sons Funeral Home, they did their thing. To Romeca's makeup artist and hair, they did their thing. All of us coming together, Romeca looked like a Barbie, literally a Barbie at rest. So gorgeous.